Okay, I honestly didn't know what to do for an intro, so I just came in clapping my hands. But yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video for anyone that's new here. My name is Levi. Now in today's video, we're gonna be talking about dropping out of school to pursue social media and or fitness. Now, I'm gonna be talking about my experience and just pretty much everything that I went through with this experience. And the reason being is because on TikTok and other platforms on social media and the niche that I'm in, which is predominantly fitness, I see a lot of kids kind of starting to question if they should drop out of school to pursue social media and fitness. And as someone who did that, I think that I have a good story to tell that can help people make a better decision if this decision does occur to you or someone else. Also, another reason I'm making this video is because a lot of people that I used to go to high school with just graduated. And as a college grad, I think you can take a lot away from this video too, because I think some of the struggles and some of the things that I talk about in this video will pertain to you in some sort of degree. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so if you've been following me for a little while now, you know I make some pretty crazy decisions at times, like moving all the way across the country by myself, which we'll kind of talk about in this video, believe it or not. Anyway, about a year ago, I made the decision to drop out of school. Prior to dropping out of school, I was actually a kinesiology major, and I thought that I was going to like it more than I actually ended up liking it. The reason that I thought I liked it, and for those who don't know what kinesiology is just another term for exercise science. So with that degree, you can continue on to be a physical therapist, which I thought I was gonna do, or you can be a PE teacher, personal trainer, pretty much that's it. And you learn about all this anatomy stuff and you go through these labs. And yeah, anyway, so I was pursuing that, thought I was going to like it, was going through it, took all the hard classes that I needed to, went and transferred to Eastern Washington University because I was going to a community college. And then when I was about to declare my major, they told me that I had to retake the hard classes that I already took at TCC and paid for. And when I heard that, I was like, you know what? I honestly didn't love this major enough to run those classes again and spend more money on it. Like, I just didn't feel that I was passionate enough to pay another, what was it, $4,000 out of pocket just for those classes. Then I made the decision to actually switch my major over. And then when I switched my major over, I was just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna drop out of school and pursue fitness full time. And then that's where things kind of got a little, I would say, mumble jumbled. And there's a lot more to the story than just dropping out of school, but we're gonna try to talk about that more than the rest of this stuff, because that's what I really want to make an emphasis on. The thing with me dropping out of school, and a lot of you guys might be like, oh, well, do you regret it or not? Because that's basically what I'm gonna be talking about in this video. Is I don't regret it at all whatsoever, and I'm gonna get really into that later on as we go on. To kind of answer the question though, just plain and simple, is that I don't live with regrets. So yeah, and there's a reason that you shouldn't live that way, or there's a reason that you should live that way. Anyway, yeah, so I dropped out of school, and when I dropped out of school, I don't think that was necessarily a bad idea, because looking back, I didn't even have a direction that I was going with school, considering the fact that I didn't even like kinesiology enough, or did I even think I was going to be a physical therapist? Because by the time that I got to that point where I was transferring, I even thought to myself, do I even want to go to physical therapy school? And I was just like, nah, business was always more interesting to me. So if I do go back to school, I'm gonna go for entrepreneurship or business, because that's something I'm a little more interested in. I thought I was going to like kinesiology and everything because it was fitness oriented, and that's what I'm known for. I realized that my passion for fitness did not lie within any scientific stuff that I was learning at all, and it didn't even make me more eager to learn the stuff that I was learning. But what I want to tell you guys is, if you have a plan in school right now, I've talked to people. So for example, there's someone named Ashar that some of you guys might know. He was in school, and when he came and visited me when I was in Houston, after I dropped out of school, I actually moved to Houston. When he came, I talked to him about school. He was already on a path to becoming a lawyer. And so if you guys are on a path and you guys have a plan in place and you're pretty deep into that plan, just don't stop, go and get that degree, do what you got to do, because if you're that deep in, there should honestly be no reason for you to drop out, especially if the plan is, I would say, in place, because you don't want to break something that's not broken. But in my case, everything was kind of already broken. There was a lot more to do with the counselor that I was seeing at TCC, and them, I would say, just not putting me onto the right classes and stuff, because there's other classes that I had to retake that I didn't even take at TCC. It's a big, long story. So yeah, there's that. Don't drop out if you already have a plan in place. Like seriously, I don't care how much clout you're starting to get, just stay in school, because if you're getting that much clout, you can still go to school and pay someone else to like edit your videos, and you can pay someone at the college to film you and whatnot. I just think that it can be a huge accomplishment for a lot of people out there. The reason I would say like do it is if like you had like a very certainty. I mean, like there's other people, other influencers that you see that do it, but it makes sense for them to do it. So if like you're in that position, then do it. But if you're just kind of making enough to move out on your own and like things are kind of going well, then just stay in school. At least that's my opinion on it. So with dropping out of school, for me, like the reason I don't regret it is because it taught me a lot about myself. I realized when I didn't like my major that the only real reason that I was going to school is because everyone was happy, everything was just going smoothly. And then when I lost that, I mean, I developed a lot of stress from it because I didn't feel like I was pleasing people. By the way, I have like perfectionism and it sucks. It's something that I'm trying to get over, and I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But yeah, so I realized that when I dropped out of school that I was pretty much doing it for the wrong reasons. I didn't really have a serious plan in place. So like I said, I moved down to Houston after dropping out of school to pursue fitness. And this is where things get kind of tricky too. So if you don't have a plan with the fitness thing either, and your overall plan is just to be some fitness influencer, which was my thing, I would say honestly, don't do it unless like your fitness influencing has like a long-term goal to it. Like you need goals outside of, and I talked about this in the social media thing, you need goals outside of social media to kind of like intertwine into your life so that not only your content is going well, but so that your outside life is going well. Because when everything else, this happened to me, I didn't have any goals outside of social media. So when I was just kind of like floating, I started to get really stressed out because I was like, dude, I need to like grip onto something and like stick with it. And that was super stressful to me because I just like, I don't know, my brain was programmed from a young age to perform at a very high level. And if there's not something that I can find to perform on, I realize I just wreak havoc. I freak out. I go berserk. Like I've talked about anxiety on here and stress. Like I'm that guy when it comes to literally being literally a perfectionist. And I'm getting over it. That's kind of where God comes into play and a lot of other things. I've talked about religion on my channel before. Maybe you're someone that's dealing with stress or anxiety. Like the biggest thing that God's really like helped me with in terms of all that, especially when I lost school and when I lost like my whole, I would say kind of fitness career. I didn't lose it because obviously I'm still uploading on YouTube. But when I lost pretty much what I would say I put a heavy foundation on or thought was going to work and it didn't work, I just developed so much anxiety and stress because I put a lot of pressure on myself on my failure, but I'm not a failure and God doesn't see me as a failure. So any lie or the outcome of the event doesn't necessarily declare who I am, but it's still going to be a tough challenge. And so that's what I'm gonna help you guys avoid, is like the tough challenge. Like I don't want you guys going into this, dropping out of school and then having the influencing thing not work out. So if like you're considering this, just really listen to my story and just take notes. Just take notes on it and just go, man, is this something like I really want to do? Because like my situation, guys, it was so bad. Like little rundown, if you guys haven't caught already, dropped out of school, moved to Houston, everything didn't pan out, moved back home, anxiety, stress because I'm freaking out now because I feel like I let people down. I feel like this, I feel like that. But at the same time, that comes down to like more so a personal thing because I was the one that was making up that scenario in my head. Instead, I should have just came home and been like, dang, like that didn't work. And I should have took a heavy breather and just been like, you know, it's all right. But I think that happens to a lot of people though when they fail, is that they start to really get down on themselves and develop depression. I developed depression from my anxiety, but I don't want anyone to just essentially go through what I've gone through. And that's just a little overview of what happened. So yeah, today's video isn't too exciting, but I definitely wanted to talk about it. If there's anything else I can say about dropping out of school and like pursuing your passion, is just make sure that you have a goal in place to do it at least, because if you look at a lot of these successful people, at least they have somewhat of a plan developed. Like I always believe in God's plan, but at the same time, God like wants us to create a plan so that he can kind of like walk us through like our own plan and get us to an even better position that we even ever imagined. So that's like, I would say my suggestion to you guys, just make sure that you're following a good plan, because I wasn't. You know, currently right now, like, yeah, I'm still doing this fitness thing, but it's kind of hard. Like I said, still dealing with perfectionism things. And, you know, I'm still debating on whether I'm going to go back to school or not. I kind of want to. I just genuinely want to get out of my own home, just because I feel like being at home kind of, I would say, keeps me in that perfectionism like mindset, because I don't know, I was just raised on a very high performance lifestyle. And so, you know, I don't want to necessarily live that way. Like, I like being a productive person, but I don't like being productive on the time frame of someone else or someone else's expectations. And sometimes I'm guilty of having higher expectations on my own self. That's going to do it for this video. If you guys have any questions, be sure to, you know, let me know down in the comments, because I genuinely want to help anyone who may be considering dropping out of school. I would just say though, like, if you're already halfway through school, just finish, just go for it. You know, like, it may lead to something good, and that's something that I wish I would have considered. Like, if I could redo everything all over again, I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard, because like, I don't really see how I guess my life could have went a different turn, because I feel like dropping out and everything that happened was kind of inevitable, or had to happen for me to realize something that was like an ongoing thing in my life. So I don't know, but if I could redo it, let's just say I was on a plan of action already with school and I was like pursuing a degree, I wouldn't have dropped out. I just would have kept going and then just like hope for the best, because it would have kind of kept me, I would say, busy up here in my mind. Because one thing is like I said, when I didn't have something that was keeping me busy in my mind, I started to lose my mind. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys did, be sure to give it a like. Like I said, leave any comments or questions that you have down below. And as always, the sky's the limit. Die trying to do what you love, and I'll see you guys next time.